Yo, call me Sonic Central though, I'm feeling like a pretzel. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Game Skates today. And only today, don't mind me sitting like this. We are here to talk about the next Sonic Central that is potentially coming up, this month, right? So we are basically, we're about to be like 9 days away from the Sonic anniversary, or 8 days at this point. And I figured there's a chance there's a Sonic Central. Now, if there isn't, I guess this video will still be used for, when they eventually do a Sonic Central. But yeah, we are kind of running out of time because if you think about it, right? Last time we had a Sonic Central was in September, and it was a month before Shadow Generations, right? And, the year before that, we've had one in May. The year before that, we've had that in June. Like, there was a year where they didn't have one. So, we're, like, Sonic Centrals aren't that point with, like, Nintendo Directs where, like, we really know, like, oh, yeah, there's gonna be one this month, this month, this month. Like, they've kind of been a little bit RNG, right? But I figured, again, because the anniversary is coming up and, potentially either way, Crossroads is coming out in September. We know that, September 25th. There is probably going to be one within the next month or two. So I figured I would just sit down, lock in, and give my predictions and hope for the best. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to subscribe to your boys, support the content, and make sure you want more. Let's start with what I think is going to headline the event, and that is Sonic Racing Crossroads. Now, over the past few months, I think it's become pretty clear that this game is Sega's headliner for Sonic this year. I don't think there's a surprise other game coming out. I think this is their main game, and it feels like with how it's being marketed, how it's being pushed, at Summer Games Fest and PlayStation State of Plays and all those things, I feel like it is going to be the prime thing for this year. I think that's going to be the big thing they're going to want to push. And so any theories or thoughts that there's going to be another game this year, probably out the window. So I think they will do a sort of final / launch trailer where they show, more of the tracks that are going to be in the base game. They're going to show officially the rest of the roster because we have yet to see like Blaze in game. We have yet to see Metal Sonic in game, Charmy, Espio. Like we know they're in the roster, but we have yet to see them. So I think it'll be a trailer showcasing, the remaining characters. It'll show that extra mode that we know about. It's the what's it called? It's something called like a party park mode that's like on the main screen, but we still don't know what it does. And I'm sure they're going to also talk about some of the extra modes, potentially time trials, and I'm sure they'll talk about the rival thing that they're doing and showing how, the rival system, how it's going to work, just kind of an in-depth look at the game. I think alongside that, they will show the second DLC pack wave of Sega characters that are going to be in the game. So I think they'll show I think they'll show Knight, I think they'll show Beat from Jet Set, and then they will show like the second official paid DLC pack, because we know there's free DLC packs that they're doing as well as the paid one. I think they will show the second wave of those. And I think, that's what they're going to say, like, yeah, we are going to support this game for the year with in-game events, and stay tuned. I think they're going to announce a Sonic Movie 3 event for the game as well. I think that event is going to be happening the month of launch, so that's my big prediction. I think they're going to have a movie event first and foremost. And the last thing that they are going to do for Sonic Racing Crossroads is announce an animated special for it. For every single mainline Sonic game since 2017, they have released an animated special. They did one for Team Sonic Racing. They've done one for, Sonic Superstars. They've done one for Mania. They've done one for Frontiers. They even did them for Sonic Origins, with the anime shorts in there. Like, that's the one thing I am locked in on 100%. Even they did it for Shadow Gen, Sonic Colors Ultimate. Like, they do these for remasters. And so they are 100% going to be doing a animated special for Sonic Racing Crossroads. I assume it'll come out in August. I don't know if it's going to be episodic or maybe it's going to be one animated special, but the Team Sonic Racing animated special was 3 parts. I think it was 2 or 3 parts, and it was so much fun. So I would love to see, Tyson Hess and the team return for another one. Maybe this one could be really fun where they have the other Sega characters in there. Like, that might be a super fun idea. But regardless, I think, you could lock that down, write that down. They're 100% going to be doing that. Next up, mobile. As you can tell lately, there's been a huge push for mobile when it comes to Sonic stuff, right? I think there's always been a big push for it in general, but now we're seeing it more than ever. So I think Sonic Rumble will officially and finally get its global release date. And I think it's going to be available that day. That's right. That's my big thing is I think they are going to be like Sonic Rumble is available now, right? It's going to be either that day or the week of. I don't know. There's something about me that tells me like that's going to be like their big like, and it's available now, right, type thing for it. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, for Sonic Racing Crossroads, they're 100% going to announce the next open beta. I think that'll be the big thing that they say is, like, open beta will be taking place, you know, in July or something for, you know, a short period of time and sign up, yada, yada. Boom. Back to Sonic Rumble. So I think Sonic Rumble will either be released that day or, you know, within that first week or two that it's shown. So that's going to be one. I think that Sonic Blitz card game that I made the video of, I think that will be officially revealed, and it'll be, you know, said like, hey, this game is going to be available in certain regions for y'all to try it. We hope you guys enjoy it. They'll probably show a trailer, and I'm sure they're going to show more updates to Sonic Speed Simulator for Roblox. They're going to show updates for Sonic Forces Speed Battle, the Sonic Racing mobile game. Like, they're going to have their whole section dedicated to mobile because they've shown time and time again that that's a market that they really care about. Next up, an exciting one. Let me do an exciting prediction. Let's talk about 2D Sonic. I think 2D Sonic is going to be shown in this Sonic Center. I think the future of 2D Sonic will be revealed, but it will not be as grandiose as you think. Instead, we are going back to another remaster. We got Sonic Origins, Sonic Origins Plus. You know, I love those games. That's great. We got Sonic Superstars, right? We are now missing, and I think it's time for us to get to Sonic Advance. That's right. My big theory and prediction is that the next 2D Sonic game is going to officially be a Sonic Advance trilogy. Remastered, I think it's going to be available in widescreen. They're going to do the thing where there's challenges, assist stuff in it, you know, infinite live, you know, extra artwork in it, like animated cutscenes for the game now. Like, I think they're going to go all in on Sonic Advance. I think they know fans have been clamoring it for a while. And I think, like, look, they are kind of one of the last major GBA game presences to not be represented on modern console. I mean, Castlevania got GBA ports, right? The Mega Man games, you know, the Zero games got their GBA ports, you know, remastered, right? Like, we've gotten like almost all the major ones, you know, remastered in one way or another. We even had Nintendo remaster Mario versus Donkey Kong from the GBA. So we've basically seen a lot of the Game Boy Advance era games get the remasters, and I think it's time for Sonic Advance. I know it's me coping. I know there's the whole thing of like the rights issues with, you know, DIMPS and THQ, but I think they are going to have figured it out one way or another. I don't know why, but something tells me this Sonic Central is not when we get the announcement of the next mainline 2D Sonic game. I think that's going to be, you know, I think we're still a bit away from that, unless, right, my second theory is that we get a direct sequel to Superstars. Let's say they work on continuing to work with RZS to work on Superstars. They have the foundation, and they really would just need to do maybe some more polishing on some animations and then just work on new levels because they have all the physics and everything done. It would almost be a waste to not continue that. And so that's sort of like my mini like hopium prediction, is that we get an actual sequel to Superstars and RZS gets, you know, their time to actually shine and make cooler levels, more grandiose levels, maybe something a little bit more artsy with how, you know, everything looks in the world, you know, have a bit more sauce. But yeah, those are my two predictions. We are either going to get an advanced trilogy, which I think is the lock, or a Superstars like sequel. And before I talk to you about 3D Sonic, because I know that's the big one people want to hear about, let's talk about another obvious thing they're going to talk about, and that is the 35th anniversary of Sonic, right? We've already seen the logo officially revealed. I think it was last month there was an expo going on in Vegas where they were showing a bunch of Sonic merch, and they already have officially basically revealed the 35th anniversary for Sonic announced, right? And I think that's going to be one of the major things we hear about here is, hey, like, we are officially announcing the 35th anniversary. And I don't think they're going to go in too much detail. They are at least going to announce that, hey, next year is the 35th anniversary. We have big plans for the franchise, you know, and, you know, stay tuned for merchandise. And I think that's going to be another part of the Sonic Central, right? Is they're obviously going to talk about merch like they always do, right? You're going to get your King Ice, you're going to get your Lego segment, you're going to get, you know, your keychains. And I think they're going to announce the return of more runs of the Sonic Symphony. I think they will also announce that, you know, they're going to be adding more songs to it, more shows. And I think they're going to announce here that they're going to be doing big things for the anniversary, but I think that'll be it, except they will have to talk a little bit and tease a little bit of 3D Sonic. Now, Sonic Centrals have not really been the goats of, you know, the one more thing. I feel like they're not necessarily the best at it, because there was one year where like it ended with like Lego Sonic for Superstars. There was one year, like last year, it ended with like, hey, we're working hard on Sonic Movie 3. Yippee. And like that was it, you know. Whereas I feel like they're getting better, and I think they're gonna understand that there's gonna be a one more thing, and the one more thing is going to be 3D Sonic. Now, in what capacity it is, well, there's two options. I think we all know what they are. One is that it is going to be a Sonic remake, right? That is the next game, and you know, obviously the rumors have said for a while that it's going to be Sonic Heroes, but I'm still not fully convinced. I think there's a chance that those remakes might actually end up being for Adventure. You know, I still think Adventure is way more popular, and I think, you know, with what they're doing and testing Unreal Engine 5, I think they might be a little bit more ambitious and crazy with it. Even if it's just a logo, I feel like they'll announce some kind of remake or thing right there, you know. So that's my thing, is I think they're going to show a remake. I think that'll be, you know, that if anything, I'm more confident that they'll show a remake than they will like a mainline game, right? Because I feel like maybe the next mainline game is cooking, but you know, if we're getting a little cuckoo crazy, right? Here's the thing, is if we're seriously thinking about this, right? They had a B team working on the Sonic Frontiers DLC. Sonic Frontiers released in 2022. That means by, let's say, November next year, it will have been 4 years since the launch of Sonic Frontiers. So if anything, like, to a lot of people and casuals who never jumped in the DLC, right, it has been a hot minute since Sonic Frontiers has been out, you know, and I feel like next year, 35th anniversary. Now, obviously, they shouldn't rush it because it's the 35th anniversary. We've seen Sega rush Sonic games for anniversaries before. It's turned out to be a disaster. But I think stars are aligning, right? I think they, at this point, have had more than enough time, right? With 40 years by next November, they will have had time to, you know, work on stuff from the foundation of Frontiers, take feedback from fans, create new environments, you know, doing a lot of testing, right? Like, I feel like if it's using the foundation of Frontiers and making something, you know, bigger, I feel like 4 years is way more than enough dev time. And I know some fans are going to be like, dude, let Sega have all the time they need it. I agree with that. If they deem it so and they believe they need more time, I 100% will prefer that and want that. But I do think people underestimate just how long 4 years of potential development is, straight up, you know what I mean? And so I think there's a big chance that at the very least we get hit with a CG teaser. And I know some would kind of argue that we had Shadow Generations last year, but I also think that was like a separate team working on it. It wasn't the team that Kishimoto directly is involved with. Again, I am truly in copium that I think the next mainline release will be next fall, but I think it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a CG teaser that doesn't tell us too much, or it will not be a CG teaser and it will simply show Sonic's new model running in a new world, and that will be where the logo ends, you know, and that will be it. So yeah, I don't know, that's what I'm thinking at least they're gonna do for the Sonic Central. You know, like I said, there's little stuff. I'm sure they'll announce some merch collabs that I'm not, you know, being specific on. I'm sure they'll announce, you know, IDW stuff. I know we already know because of the sadly the limited run games thing that I know there's gonna be an IDW comic for Sonic Racing, and yeah, but I do think the big thing about this Sonic Central is it's going to be focused a lot on Sonic Racing. I think there's even a world where this Sonic Central is mainly about Sonic Racing and then maybe like some merch stuff, and that's really it. But if I'm being ambitious, I feel like they're gonna go crazy a little bit and they're in a good place and they want to be in their bag. Shit, man, you know, I think go for it. Oh, so one thing that I forgot to mention a possibility of is a potential spin-off. You know, maybe we're gonna get the announcement of a spin-off, maybe a Sonic beat 'em up or rhythm game, or, you know, another game like The Murder of Sonic where it's a visual novel. Like, that's also a possibility. Maybe we finally get that long awaited and long wanted Sonic rhythm game. You know, that would be really nice. I know for a long this time we thought Sonic Blitz might have been an action Sonic game, but alas, it seems like that title is gone. You know what I mean, to the mobile game. But yeah, that's at least that for that. Guys, like I said, thank y'all for watching. Y'all are the best. I love you. And of course, I will see you all next time. Peace out.